there, it's Jill Havens, and I'm here to do the highly anticipated 9th experiment in the book, Pam Grout's book, E Squared, 9 Energy Experiments. I say highly anticipated because I talked about it in one of my previous videos, probably 2 of them. So if you've seen those videos, you'll know what I mean. I had a really neat experience with this one that I want to share with you. But first, let me tell you what this experiment is all about. This is the fish in loaves principle. The universe is limitless, abundant, and strangely accommodating. This experiment will dispel the myth that life sucks and then you die. Most of us, whether we admit it or not, believe life is hard. We believe there's only so much to go around, whether we're talking money, time, or popcorn at the multiplex cinema. Even people with Maseratis in their garage spend way too much time figuring out how to get more. Why? Because they mistakenly believe there's not enough. Even billionaires, even people with an overabundance of resources live under the oppressive spell of there's not enough. I'm looking for what more I want to tell you about here. Bliss happens. What if this powerful force was used to uplift people rather than keep them trapped in the corporate and religious food chain? The bottom line is, we have no conception of the limits we have placed on our perception. If we really knew the extent to which we have denied the world's loveliness, we would be shocked. Being gloomy is easier than being cheerful. Anybody can say, I've got cancer, and get a rise out of a crowd, but how many of us can do 5 minutes of good stand-up comedy? Well, I've done this experiment and I still wouldn't be able to do comedy, but I appreciate what they're talking about. Harnessing the power of your mind can be more effective than the drugs you have been programmed to believe you need. I believe that 100%. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a persistent one. Okay, this experiment. You need to keep a journal on hand for 48 hours and list kindnesses that happen. Like, this is just a list that the author did. Like, my wife gave me a kiss before I left for my doctor's appointment. The receptionist and I compared pictures of her new baby and grandson. The man at the lunch counter smiled and said, "What's up?" So basically, the principle is the fish and loaves principle. The theory is that the universe is limitless, abundant, and strangely accommodating. The question, is my focus on the negative keeping me from seeing reality? If I change my outlook and make a concerted effort to look for goodness, beauty, and abundance, it will show up in spades. And then you write down the date and the time. You give yourself 48 hours, and you write down everything that you realize is good going around you. And you can write it down, the number of kind, beautiful, good things. The approach. I've heard the old adage, what you appreciate, appreciates. So I guess I'll give it a whirl. Who knows? Maybe expressing gratitude is more than just some mumbo-jumbo Pollyanna Oprah thing. Willie Nelson, after all, said that when he started counting his blessings, his old life turned around. Like Willie, I'm ready to bet on the probability of peace, bliss, and joy. Consequently, I will actively seek goodness with a vengeance. Now, this experiment it's so good because I've already started, before I did this experiment, I already started trying to appreciate things around me, trying to be happy in my life the way it is now instead of wishing I had this or wishing I had that. If you remember back at the beginning, my very first video, I hated my job. I wanted to quit so bad. And probably more than, I don't remember all the videos, but I probably talked about my job in more than one. And you just can't, how can you ever be happy if you're constantly, every day, wishing that you had something else? something better. You have to be happy and content in the life that you have now if you ever want to move beyond it. And I've been fighting with this job thing for 2 years, and I have finally accepted it. And I'm looking, when I have to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to work, when I start to go there, when I start to go to that place where, I don't want to get up, I don't want to work, I immediately change what I'm thinking and be happy that I actually woke up today. I start to look for the good things. Even though at 4 o'clock in the morning I'm really tired, it's hard. But you have to change your mindset in order to change your life. And sometimes, it seems like I'm in the same place I've been in, but I bet you in a year from now I can look back and see how different things are. I mean, things happen. Change happens so subtly, like just a little bit at a time. I know things are happening. And sometimes, and this is the whole point, sometimes I am just really happy and joyful for no apparent reason, just because I am. And don't you want to be like that? Everybody wants to be like that. I mean, I used to be like that only when I had something to be super excited about, But now I can find that peace and joy and just be happy in the moment. And am I like that 100% of the time? No, I'm not. I'm still, I still have what I call human moments, where I'm ticked off and in a bad mood and snap at somebody, but I'm getting better. And that's what this whole journey is about, right? It's about personal development, self-improvement, and all that. Anyways, this experiment, I started by appreciating how soft my bed was, because I had a particularly good night's sleep the night I started this experiment. And I think I looked at my paycheck that day, and I had more on my paycheck than what I thought I was going to have. And so I appreciated that, and I appreciated the sunrise, and I appreciated so many different things. I got a good note from my son's guidance counselor. It said I can't remember what it said, but it was basically what a good kid I had, and all kinds of things. If you just start looking, they're all over. Things to appreciate are all over the place. So I was in the first 24 hours of this experiment, and this is what was really cool, what I have to tell you about. I took my son, the aforementioned son that got good remarks from his guidance counselor, I took him out to our favorite restaurant. It's a Asian buffet here in town. I took him out to eat that night, just him and I. And I remember, and this will be significant, I remember that thinking about my telephone, thinking maybe I should shut it off or turn it down or something. I thought, nobody's going to call me while we're here eating. So I didn't pull it out. I didn't touch it. We proceeded to get our food and eat and talk. And halfway through the meal, our hostess came up, and she seemed to have trouble getting her words out. It was kind of weird. It's like, what are you saying? But she told me that the gentleman behind us, who was already gone, had paid for our 2 dinners. I don't even know if I said anything to her. Because that's never happened to me before. I'm like, huh? I don't even know if I told her thanks, or I don't know what I said. I was just so, I couldn't believe it. I was looking at Jake, and he was looking at me, and we're like, what? Things like that don't happen every day. That was really special. And she gave me the receipt in which he paid for our dinner. And again, I have no idea who it was. I didn't even notice him as I came in. I guess he was sitting somewhere behind us. Didn't notice him. Because I don't stare at people when I come into restaurants and see who's all there. So I didn't pay attention. But he wrote a note on the back of the receipt that I want to read to you. And I got to make sure I have good light here. This is the note from the man who paid for our dinners. Seeing the 2 of you at supper reminds me of when my mom and I used to go to the buffet for our date night. Seeing you hold a conversation with no cell phones and being nice makes my year. As a teacher, I know how important your relationship with each other is. Thank you for bringing back the memories. Sincerely, a fan of yours. And that makes me tear up, obviously, when I read that, because that's, you just don't get stuff like that every day. And all we were doing was sitting there talking, and it's just nice to be appreciated, I guess. It's been a long road for me, being a single parent, and have somebody that I don't even know appreciate me like that just overwhelms me. And this happened probably a month ago, and it's still, I haven't read this for a while, so it still gets to me. And again, I have no idea who it was. It really touched me. And when I said the cell phone will be significant, what if I had pulled out my cell phone even just to turn it off? He was so appreciative of the fact that we weren't messing with our cell phones. We were just having a conversation. So the fact that this happened right in the middle of this experiment, I was done with the experiment right then and there. I'm not really done, because to this day I continue to look around and appreciate. When I go to bed at night, I try to think of things I appreciate about the day. And so the experiment goes on. But I no longer, that was such validation for that experiment that, I didn't have to record things anymore, because that was just, man, I posted it on Facebook, and I got so many comments and likes on it. It was just, and a lot of wows, and, that things like this just don't happen every day. And it was such a neat, awesome experience. And if by any chance, Mr. Teacher who paid for our dinners, if you're watching this was so appreciated, more than you know. And when I get the chance, I will pay it forward. I mean, I could go pay for anybody's dinner today, but it has to be a special circumstance. So we'll see what happens. But anyways, that is my final experiment with the E² book. If you haven't done the experiments, I highly recommend picking it up. That book is so uplifting. It's opened up new doors for me. I'm reading other books about manifestation, and that just gets my juices flowing, gets me excited, keeps me tuned in. I can't get rid of this little tear here. I'm not crying anymore, but the tear won't go away. So yeah, this book was an amazing experience, and it's opened me up to a lot of different things, in which I will still continue to record videos. So if you like this, please, I'd love it if you commented. I've gotten a lot of comments on my videos, and I truly appreciate all of them, even the ones that are negative, because it spurs some conversation. So I appreciate all of you watching. And you can find me on Facebook. I'll have the link in the comment section. And again, you could even subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to keep finding stuff to do videos about, because I love this subject, and like I said, it really keeps my juices flowing. So I want to keep it up. So with that being said, we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. And thanks for watching all my E² videos. And again, if you feel so inclined, hit like, share, comment. All of it's appreciated. Take care.